Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the IL-2-37 sitting at 3.0 battle rating in rank 3 Soviet. I was looking forward a lot to play the next IL-2. These things are amazing, at least the ones in rank 2 were amazing with fantastic turn times and stuff like that. This one has a different setup when it comes to armament, also compared to the other IL-2s in rank 3, but also compared to the ones in rank 2 and what I flew before. And I have to say it was quite a bit of a letdown, this plane. Why? It has to do with the guns and the weight of the ammo and those guns combined, which really takes a big hit to the turn rate of this plane. And this is the least maneuverable IL-2 and for me thus the least good IL-2. This is a far cry from the other ones, which were just better. Their main strength lies in the turn time, in your capability to surprise people. And these 37mm guns are good for ground pounding, but they are not reliable when it comes to air. And that was the joke of this plane. You could attack both ground targets and then switch immediately to a turn fighting role with sustained turn times that are very good, and take your big guns 23mm to the enemy's tail. And that is not the case in this plane. It's just not happening. You cannot out-turn planes. This plane turns like a bomber, a medium bomber, and it is just not good. The speeds are also less good. The maximum speed it is playing at sea level without web is 373 kilometers an hour without web and 342 with web. At 4500 meters still go up to 304 with and 313 without 304 without and 313 with, and finally at 6500 meters still go up to 268 without web and 271 with web. Now those speeds are not good, and good luck getting to 4500 meters. It takes a long time. The climb rate, because of the extra weight of this plane, is also quite bad, and you will never get there, even coming from the air start that this plane has. Top speed in a dive is 589 before she redlines and 630 before she rips apart. Well, those dive speeds are not the thing either, right? That is never something you want to do in this plane anyway. Boom and zooming or energy fighting or stuff like that. The trick of the IL-2s, the other ones at least, was to ground pound, throw your bombs, and then take enemy attacking planes by surprise and outturn them. And that was a very fun thing to play, that role. And well, this plane doesn't have that role, so that was the disappointment. On another note, this plane does have two 37mm with the AP rounds. You can definitely shoot some tanks in the butt, and it doesn't always explode the tank, but you can get a lot of tanks with this thing. It can wreak havoc on a tank column. The control stiffening in this plane starts at 400 and then at 550 in the roll rate. It does compress a little bit in the elevator after that 550, but it's really not too bad. You can easily get out of a dive at any point if you want to. Just when it starts to roll worse at 550, it becomes a little bit of a problem, because it can rip there with a little bit of G-forces. So be careful there. The stall speed in this plane is actually quite nice with 100 kilometers an hour. Nothing bad at all. Firepower is very good, I can't say otherwise. You have two 37mm, that's strong firepower, NS 37mm cannons with 56 rounds per gun, and then you're supported by two 7.62mm Kash machine guns with 750 rounds per gun. You also have one 12.7 Beresin UB machine gun with 150 rounds per gun. Now that ammo load on that machine gun is not great, but the Beresin, as you know, is a fantastic gun. So it's definitely quite functional, that turret. You can equip this plane with 4 50kg bombs and two 100kg bombs. Not a lot of bombs, but the weight and the power of this plane sits in the 37mm cannons, which of course is meant for close air support, ground pounding, getting tanks out of the way. But yeah, in air RB you will be often fighting planes as well, and that is more difficult in this plane because the turn time has been destroyed in this one. So great ammo loads on this thing. Really, the amount of ammo on the 37s is amazing. 56 shots with 2 guns is just awesome. Acceleration in the plane in a straight line is bad. In a dive initially it is no more than average either, but it becomes good as he winds up. Because of the extreme weight of this plane, it just helps a lot getting the plane some speed at a certain point. But yeah, as the plane does not have a great red line and stuff like that, and rip speed, the good dive speed acceleration really doesn't help you too much. Energy retention in the plane in the horizontal is decent, and in the vertical it's atrocious. It does not hold speed well in the vertical. Zoom climbs are basically impossible in this thing. It is a tank flying through the skies, of course. You do have bad climb rate as well due to all the weight. Nothing to be done about that. Turn time in this IL-2 unfortunately is bad. Below average with flaps, which rip off at 480 kilometers an hour. That is alright, I guess. I mean, 480 is not something you're gonna reach a lot in this plane, so you can definitely use the flaps. Point is though that the turn time is not good and doesn't really help you. Roll rate in this plane is below average, so nothing to write home about there. Overall maneuverability is bad. Overheating in this IL-2-37 is not an issue. It is easily manageable. It does overheat a little bit in climbs and stuff like that, but once you go off the web and below 100%, it's cooled off in no time. So it's easily manageable. Now we come to the main strength of this plane next to the guns. For the close air support role, of course, the 37s are great. But the next thing that is great is the durability, which is fan-freaking-tastic in the IL-2s. It is a flying tank. The gunner and the pilot sit in an armored casing, protected with armor from all sides. And yeah, that's great. Unfortunately, we had to take out that XP50 here. Nothing to do about that, and he did get me unfortunately. Otherwise, we might have gone on to 4-kill match, but he hit a control surface I could not pull out of my approach at a certain point. When I tried after I killed him. And I killed him a little late because of the inaccuracy of the 37mm. You know, anything above 20mm does have that inaccuracy. And if it hits and it explodes and it kills the plane off, of course, that is great. That is the great thing about these guns. That's why the firepower with these things is very good. But if they don't hit, which also happens, because they do spread a lot, these guns. They have a wider spread than most machine guns. And the 20mm cannons, most of them. The spread on 37s or 45s or bigger calibers are more sporadic and wider spread, and thus less reliable. For your RNG factor becomes bigger, and you take more risks with head-ons and stuff like that. But you gotta do that in this plane because you cannot outturn a lot of planes anymore in this IL-2. It is an IL-2, but I would say this is something different. This is not really an IL-2. This is a heavy plane with great firepower. Might be nice in ground RB for the close air support and shooting a lot of planes. But the fun factor of the IL-2s has been destroyed in this one. And thus I did not really enjoy it, even though I've got a good positive kill-death ratio in it still. And a lot of ground targets taken out as well. So still did well in this plane. Here we go for the Barrison machine gun in the turret. Awesome. Shooting down the P-38 with no problems. He just went into that stream, and when that Barrison UB machine gun is just awesome. And this gunner, it doesn't have a lot of ammo as I said, but it is very effective. You can definitely use it. And here we go, we approach from behind here. We got a few shots in, but you do not hit and kill every medium tank with these guns. Not from every angle either. I think there are certain approaches from above, probably, and from behind, straight on. But any angle will bounce the shots most likely. So it's not infallible there either. For the brilliance of these 37 double setup here on this IL-2, which is not really an IL-2 because the IL-2 shines because of its maneuverability, its turn time, and it's just the ability to outmaneuver enemy planes and give them hell. That's what an IL-2 is for me. In War Thunder, of course, in reality, it was one of the most famous ground attackers, really a flying tank that could destroy anything on ground level, and that's great and all, but in War Thunder, the fun in this plane for us is the fact that you can start ground pounding, and then once enemy fighters come and try to kill you, you can just play with them and outturn them and have a lot of fun with the IL-2s, and that's not present in this plane. And yeah, cry me a river, but I don't like this IL-2. Unfortunate. We had 23 railway carriages with that thing. Got quite a few nice rewards in it. Guys, I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. This IL-2 is the worst IL-2 in the game, in my humble opinion. I like the IL-2s because of their maneuverability and their surprise factor, their awesome firepower, and the combination between that firepower and the maneuverability and the survivability makes for some great situations in normal IL-2s. This thing is not an IL-2 though. It is very heavy with the 37mm and the insane ammo load on those things. And it can be fun for attacking tank columns, and it may be ground RB, but I don't play that. And the fun factor thus in this thing is absent. You just have 37mm guns with a lot of ammo, with a lot of explosions, and that's great. But you gotta take planes out, because once they fly past you and you didn't get them, you can't outturn them. So you're fucked, and you need to get them, and thus you need to stay in head-ons and stuff like that longer. And normally in an IL-2 you take a head-on, you outmaneuver and you go behind the plane, you shoot him then. But with this one you gotta stay in there and you die more. So yeah, I don't recommend this one. Move on to the next one, the 1943 one, and have your fun with that one, because that one is in the line with the ones that came before, and I will review that in the near future. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.